Hello friends, I am Dr. Madhukar Jadhav. In previous lecture, we have studied regarding various processes involved in remote sensing as well as different applications of remote sensing we have seen. In this lecture, I am going to teach you regarding introduction of GIS, then different component of GIS and how the GIS works. So, starting with introductory part of GIS, Geographic Information System. GIS is a computer based tool for mapping and analyzing things that exist and events that happen on the surface of Earth. Or Geographic Information System is a system intended to capture, store, manipulate, analyze, manage and present all type of geographical data. So, Geographic Information System GIS plays very important role as far as different fields are concerned. So, the GIS is used in every field, that is advertising, then in government offices, in government department this GIS is used, then GIS is used in mapping and technology purpose, GIS is used in environmental management, GIS is also used in insurance and GIS can also be used in medical field also. Okay. Next, GIS software is compactable, supporting the many data formats and used in the infrastructure like cycles and allowing civil engineers to provide data to various agencies in the required format while maintaining the data's core integrity. GIS technology provides a central location to conduct a spatial analysis, overlay data and integrate other solutions and systems. Built on a database rather than individual projects files, GIS enables civil engineers to easily manage, reuse, share and analyze data, thus saving time and resources. As far as civil engineering is concerned, GIS is very much important to send the particular data to a particular office, or we can say on particular field. Suppose we want to construct the data, we want to construct a building. So, in the initial stage, we require the plot area and the plot boundaries. So, by GIS we can send that much information to field, and from that plot information, plot size, they can fix up the plot boundaries. Then we can send the foundation plan for layout of that foundation plan of the building. So, just that particular file can be sent on the site, and from that particular site the site engineers and the other persons can lay out the foundation plan. After that, whatever the design data for footing, for columns can be sent through the GIS software, and that data can be used by that people for design and constructing of the footing and the columns. So, in this way, whatever the data is there, that much data can be sent to the particular persons, so that there is no confusion among the different data if we send all the data at a time. Next one, components of GIS. A working GIS integrates 5 key components. One is the hardware, then software, then the data, then peoples and the methods. So, we will see these components one by one. First one is the hardware. Hardware is the computer on which a GIS operates. Today, GIS software runs on a wide range of hardware types, from centralized computer server to desktop computers used in standalone or network configuration. So, whatever the hardware is there, it should be a desktop or it should be a laptop, or even in mobile also, whatever the GIS software there is there, that can be installed. Next one, software. GIS software provides the functions and tools needed to store, analyze and display geographic information which is supplied to that software. Key software components are tool for the input and manipulation of the geographic information, a database management system, tool that supports geographic query, analysis and visualization, and a graphical user interface for easy access to the tools of that particular software. Next one. So, different components of the GIS. First component is hardware, then software. These may be CD, pen drive, floppies, and whatever the latest we can say renovations in software techniques are there. Then the data, it is in hard format. Then methods which we are using. Then people, those who are using this GIS technique. So, these are the components we can say of GIS. Next one. So, data. Possibly the most important component of GIS is the data. Without data, it is very difficult to operate the GIS software. Geographic data and related tabular data can be collected in-house or purchased from the commercial data providers. Now, there are different agencies who will provide the data, geographic data. They are collecting the different geographic data, maybe say soil conditions at say ground level, then soil conditions below depth of say 1 meter, then below depth of 5 meter, 10 meter. So, this data will be available with a particular agency. Then data regarding the water table, then data regarding the topographic information of the ground. So, all these data is most important as far as GIS is concerned. A GIS will integrate spatial data with other data resources and can even use a DBMS used by most organizations to organize and maintain their data to manage a spatial data. Then people, GIS technology is of limited value without people who manage the system and develop plans for applying it to real world problems. So, people plays very important role in this use of the GIS data, and if the peoples are not there, then who will use this particular GIS technology, and hence people plays very important role as far as GIS is concerned. GIS user range from technical specialists who design and maintain the system to those who use it to help them perform their everyday work. As we know, we are using the mobiles. So, from the mobiles also we can assess the different things, and this is only due to the we can say GIS softwares. Then methods. A successful GIS operates according to well-designed plan and business rules, which are the models and operating practices unique to each organization. Now, whatever the data different organizations are utilizing and they are offering to the people, that one is the unique one. One organization has some other data, the another organization has some different data. So, this is we can say successful GIS operates according to the well designed plan and we can say business rules of different companies and organizations. Next, how GIS works. In GIS mainly the different layers are there, and on the principle of this layer the GIS works. A GIS stores information about the world as a collection of thematic layers that can be linked together by geography. This simple but extremely powerful and versatile concept has proven valuable for evolving many real world problems, from tracking delivery vehicle to recording details of planning applications to modeling global atmospheric circulation. So, whatever the data which GIS stores, it is stored in different layers like this, and then as per the requirement the assessment of that data can be done. Now, as we know, there are tremendous applications of the GIS. First one is the recording details of delivery of the vehicle. Means if suppose some person wants delivery of the vehicle from a particular town or city, then he can track at what distance or at what kilometer that particular vehicle has traveled. Another example, if we have done the courier, that also we can check on directly our computer whether our courier is dispatched to particular person or not. So, all these are the different applications, and in this way the GIS works in actual life, we can say. Next one, vector and raster data model. So, these are the two most important components of the GIS. Geographic information system works with two fundamental different types of geographic models. One is the vector model and other one is called as raster model. So, these are very important as far as GIS is concerned. In the vector model, information about points, lines, polygons is encoded and stored as a collection of x and y coordinates. This is very important. In vector model, information about different points, different lines or polygons is encoded and stored as a collection of x and y coordinate of that particular point or line, or we can say polygon. Vector model, the location of point features such as say borehole can be described by a single x and y coordinates. Linear features such as say road and rivers can be stored as a collection of point coordinates. Polygonal features such as cells, territories and river catchment. River catchment means from how much area water is coming to that particular river is called as river catchment. So, cells, territories and river catchment can be stored as a closed loop of a coordinates. So, in this way the information is stored in a vector model. Next one, the vector model is extremely useful for describing discrete feature. Discrete means individual features, but also useful for describing continuously varying features such as soil type or accessibility cost for the hospital. Next one, raster model. The raster model has evolved to model such continuous features. A raster image comprises a collection of grid cells rather than scanned map or picture. Both the vector and the raster model are storing geographic data have unique advantages and disadvantages. Modern GIS are able to handle both of these models. So, these models plays very important role as far as GIS is concerned. So, this is regarding GIS. So, this is sufficient in this lecture. Thank you.